Hey everyone, Lickety Split here. Today we're working on a kit from Warhammer the Old World for the Warriors of Chaos, the Chaos Marauder Horsemen. This is a brand new kit from Games Workshop, and I'm really excited to paint it for you because boy, I think they really did a great job on it. Today I'll be concentrating my demonstration mainly on the unit champion. Where things differ from him, like the standard bearer or some things on the musician, I'll go ahead and switch to them. Now let's go ahead and move these other guys aside so we can get started. First thing I'm going to be starting on is the leather. And we're going to be using two different mixes for the leathers because we're going to be alternating the main color of the leathers from one figure to the other. The first mixture is going to be a 1-to-1 of Cygor Brown to contrast medium. The second one is going to be a 2-to-1 mixture of Black Legion to contrast medium. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use whatever main color we decide. Like in this one I'm doing a Cygor Brown. We'll go ahead and do the reins, and we'll go ahead and do the boots. We'll start on the boots, right? And of course we'll do the first saddle, for lack of a better term. So let's go ahead and get this right there. Yeah. And then what we'll do is for this under saddle, this part right here, we're going to go ahead and switch to the other color. So in this case, it's going to be the 2-to-1 Black Legion. So we'll go ahead and paint this under saddle, for lack of a better term, in the secondary color on this guy for the leathers. The reason we're going to do it this way is because we want that contrast, right? As you can see, there we go, that's a little better. If we just painted all this, and of course this, everything here, and just a Cygor Brown, it would all get blended together. You wouldn't see the difference. So this way, we're going to introduce a little variety from figure to figure by alternating the colors, but keeping it simple. And then we have this under one where they meet right next to each other. They'll meet, you know, the Cygor Brown here, the Black Legion mix here, and you got the Cygor Brown on the boot here. That way provides a nice contrast between the two. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be back. Here we get on our next color. Next color is going to be a light dry brush of white scar. We're just going to take it across the figure. Should have done it before the other part, but better late than never, I'll say again. The idea behind this is to provide a little bit of extra oomph to the parts of the highlights that the contrast paint will do, because like I said before, contrast paint basically reflects what's underneath it. So that's why you need a nice smooth coat. They don't recommend overall colors. Like the three that are the main ones are White Scar, Gray Sear, and Wraithbone. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to go move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Snakebite Leather. And we're going to be putting this on a few places. We're going to be putting this on the ropes. So wherever you have a rope, we're going to be using this. We're also going to be placing it on any wood. So I'm kind of skipping to show you. So place it on the wood. Like this. We'll also be using this as a basis for some of the fur. So I'm not going to do it on him, I'm going to do it on another one. But you pick one of the furs. It's also going to be the basis of one of the colors of the hair. So I'll go ahead and just do this guy's beard. And also, it's going to be the basis of one of the colors of the horse. So we'll go ahead and start with this one. And with this, you want to load up your brush. You can see all the extra I got going on there. And I go backwards some more, kind of loading it up. Okay, kind of move it around a little bit. We're just going to do section by section. Okay, got it in there good. I'm going to wash the brush. We're going to touch it off. Paper towel, dry it up a little bit. And we're going to go after some of the pools. And I'm not really going to touch it in the fur because I want more of it to kind of sink in there. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit. So I can go in and get the pool, stick to the recesses or the edges. Stuff out here is already starting to dry. You can kind of move it around a little bit, maybe around the edges, but the stuff in the middle is already drying. Okay, I'm going to finish all this up and move on. Okay, we're going to start doing the main colors. There's going to be 4 main colors in this army, okay, that I'm doing. It's going to be a red, it's going to be yellow, it's going to be a green, and it's going to be a blue. And I'm going to cycle them through. I'm going to use 3 colors on each figure. But where they go is going to change every time. So let's just say the red. In one figure, the red's going to be on the trousers. The next figure, the red's going to be on the clothing. The next figure, the red's going to be on the cloak. Same thing with the yellows, the blues, and the greens. You just have to come up with a pattern. But that way you're cycling it through. All the colors will tie the army together, but because it's a Chaos Marauder army, it's not a uniform army, okay? So you'll have the colors tying it together, but it won't look regimented like an Empire army. An Empire army, everybody in the same unit is going to look exactly the same, but these are Marauders, so they won't. But the colors will tie it together. So like in this one, I'm going to go ahead and, for the champion, I'm going to do the cloak in red. So we just get it on there, spread it on there nice and even. Don't do too much. Keep it controlled. Okay. If you need to, we can go back, do small sections at a time. Not huge, gigantic sections because then it'll dry. So then you wash the brush, touch off the water, and then if there are any excess splotches, excess amounts, you can go in and touch it up. Right? Like here, it's a bit much. And generally, you don't want to be touching it up on the flat parts, because like this ridge is probably, like here is probably already dried enough. You want to be touching at in the recesses, like here, or right at the edges, like in here. And that's where you'll be soaking up the excess. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and be back. We'll go ahead and move on to our next color. Next color is going to be some Creed Camo. And like the red before, we're going to be using this alternating through the figure, through the 3 different levels that we talked about before. So just get it on there, nice and smooth, nice and easy. Work a small section at a time. Okay, like so. Then you can go ahead and wash the brush, touch it off, and you can go in here and you can get in some of the excess. Stick to the folds and the edges, not the ridges. This will help prevent you getting splotches and stuff. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next color and be back. We're going to move on to the next color. Our next color is going to be some Aggaros Dunes. And we're going to use this on this guy on the cloak. This will be the basis for a yellow color for this paint scheme that we're doing on our Chaos Marauders. Now, you can go ahead and load up the brush, get it on there. It can be a little thick and ponding like that, that's fine. Just do one small section, one section at a time. And you can wash the brush, touch it off on a paper towel or a kitchen towel if you're over in the UK. And then you can absorb the excess. And again, sticking to the folds or the borders right here, okay? Not on the flats. All right, I'll be back. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next color. Next color is gonna be some Ultramarines Blue. And for this one, at least on this guy, I'm gonna be doing the trousers or pants. Okay, we're still on the screen. Now, as you can see, we got the three colors in this guy, right? We got the blue, the red, and the green. So like I said, it's gonna be 3 colors per out of the 4. All right, I'll be back. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next color. Next color is gonna be some more Aggaros Dunes. And we're gonna use this on the standard. So we wanna load up our brush, get it on here and then move it around. So we're covering everything, right? There we go, back and get a little more. Then we're gonna wash the brush. We're gonna touch off the water on a paper towel. Then we're gonna go in here and we're going to soak up the excess. We want to stick to the recesses and the edges because we don't want to go out in the middle because that will dry very quickly, and this is probably already dry. There's not much you can do about it. Okay, I'll finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next color. Our next color is going to be a little thinned down Leadbelcher. What we're going to be doing is painting any of the weapons, the medals, the shields, and armor. Right here. What we won't be painting is additional stuff like this, or here, or like the belt buckles. That'll be painted later. But like the metal and the helmets will be done at this stage. Okay, I'll finish this up and be back. Okay, we'll move on to our next color. Next color is going to be a 2-to-1 mixture of Black Legion to contrast medium, and we're going to be using this on this guy's hair. This will be one of the nice contrasts to the skeleton horde we used on the horse's skin. I'm going to finish this up and be back. Move on to our next color. Next color is going to be some Gore-Grunta Fur. And we're going to use this as one of the colors for the furs. Just to get a nice, again, since we're using a limited palette, we're going to have to be selective on what colors we mix together to provide the most bang for your buck or contrast. And 2 colors that go really well with skeleton horde or against this is the Gore-Grunta Fur and the 2-to-1 mixture of Black Legion. All right, I'll finish this up and be back. All right, on the next horse color variant, we're going to start out with a color with some Gore-Grunta Fur. We're going to get a fair amount on your brush, spread it out, move it all around. And once you got it all spread out, And like we've done before, we're going to go ahead and wash the brush, touch off the water, and start absorbing the excess. All right, I'll finish this up and be back. Go on to our next color. Next color is going to be some Wyldwood. And we're going to use this on his beard. Probably a little more than that. Wyldwood gives you a nice soft brown, really pretty color. All right, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next color. Next color, we're going to use some Skeleton Horde again. This one, we're going to be painting it on this guy's fur. Decided to go with a fur on this one, give a nice light color in the contrast to the darkness of the Wyldwood, and of course the red of the Gore-Grunta Fur on the horse. These three colors should go pretty well together. All right, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Ushabti Bone, and we're going to dry brush it on to our banner. So I figured I'd kind of show you what I was thinking about with when I'm talking about dry brushing. I get a little bit on my brush. I take it onto paper towel. I like the paper towel because it has the ridges. And then you just basically take it off and off until you're just getting a light like here. You're just getting a light, very light dusting on the ridges. That way you can take it onto your figure. It's a little wobbly. And you can lightly build it up. You don't want too much on it. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about. There we go. Dry brushing. Because I have very little on my brush. And then it just slowly starts building up the colors on the edges. And then you kind of do that until you're satisfied, depending on what look you're going for. All right? And that will be how I do it. We're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Retributor Armor, and we're going to be using this on some of the details. Metallic details, the remaining metallic details, like this part of the banner, maybe these hooks. Basically anything we haven't painted metallic as of yet. So just thin your paint a little bit so it'll flow on there nice and easy. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next color. Next color is going to be some Reikland Fleshshade. And we're going to use this as the first step in our skin. So we'll just go ahead and spread it around nice and even. Try not to glue it up too much anywhere. Go back to the pot as often as you feel you need to. We'll go ahead and get in here and get the mouth so we can get some of this shading. Might be a little much. You're doing the mouth, be careful, you don't want to overload it. Something like that. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, one part I forgot to say, we're going to use the Reikland Fleshshade. Is any place where we have this type of head where it's still got all the skin and stuff on it. It's not a skull. I'm going to go ahead and apply the Reikland Fleshshade to it. as the first step. Okay, be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Black Templar, and we're going to use this for the horse blankets, because this will provide a nice contrast to all of them, and then be something that'll help tie it in a bit. So creating that look of an army, but not like a regimented army. Like Bretonnia, Empire, Cathay, that sort of thing. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up and be back. We're gonna move on to the next color. The next color is gonna be a 2-to-1 mixture of Black Legion, contrast medium, and we're going to use this on this guy's furs. And I've got a color palette that I'm using, okay, for these colors. Skeleton Horde, Snakebite Leather, Gore-Grunta Fur, Wyldwood, and 2-to-1 Black Legion. That's what I'm using for the furs, the hairs, and the horses. So I'm trying to contrast them on the models, but the colors be similar throughout the unit, so they'll tie it together, but you have a contrast of the Black Legion to the color of the horse, the Snakebite Leather. So it's trying to mix these up so they contrast to each other, which helps give it, you know, a tied together look, and it makes it pop a little bit with the contrast between the colors, and it fits well, but also it doesn't provide too uniform of a look, which wouldn't fit with the Chaos Marauders. All right, I'll be back. We're gonna move on to the next color. Next color is gonna be some Wyldwood, and we're gonna be putting this on this particular horse's fur, skin, whatever. And go down into the little fur around his feet. I'm gonna go ahead and put a fair amount on so it runs into everything. Do one section at a time when you're doing it this way. Like one side of the leg, and you're gonna be washing your butch. You're going to be touching with the water, and we're going after the excess. Sticking to recesses and the edges. Not into the flats, whoops. So it doesn't dry too splotchy. You see that right there? Means this is probably already getting a little bit dry up there, so I shouldn't have been touching it. Let's see what I can do. Yeah, something like that. Okay, I'm gonna take more out of this area in here where the brand is. I want that to stand out more later. Okay, I'll finish this up and be back. Okay, here's another combination. I did the Wyldwood with the Gore-Grunta Fur, and that's one of those combinations I mentioned. This contrasts really well, so it actually makes a really nice color combination if you try to contrast the colors. I mean, the technique's all the same, but trying to get the proper contrast between the furs and the hair and the horse is really important. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Skeleton Horde, and we'll be doing this, do a horse in that color. And like I usually do, you load up the brush, get it on there, move it around, stick to one side of one section, like so, and that's enough, so we're gonna go ahead and wash the brush, dry it off, and we'll be going after some of the recesses to soak it up. Use gravity, stay away from the flats, and don't try to do too big of a section at once. Okay, I'll be back. Here we're gonna move on to our next variant of horse. And the color we're going to be using is a 2-to-1 mixture of Black Legion and Contrast Medium. I'll go ahead and spread this out. Take it, work it around. Grab a little more. All right. Probably get the back of that leg over there too from the side as well. All right, as before, I'm gonna rinse the brush, touch off the water, and start touching touching the excess off. I'm gonna stick to edges. Recesses. We don't want to touch those raised areas. It'll run down into the hair as well. Keep working on this until it's satisfactory, and then move on, and I'll be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. And the next color is going to be some Skeleton Horde. And we're going to use this on the fur, because especially when you get down to here, let's see, can you see it? Yeah. We're going to have the Skeleton Horde right next to the Black Templar we did there, and of course the Black Legion that we just did on the horse's skin, which will give you a nice contrast of colors. Make it easy for the eye to pick out. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up and be back. We're gonna move on to the next color. Next color is gonna be some Snakebite Leather, and we're gonna use this on this guy's beard. Now, these are 3 colors that go pretty well. Contrast is, you know, the 2-to-1 Black Legion. There you go. So we have the 2-to-1 Black Legion, Skeleton Horde, and then we get the Snakebite Leather. It's especially important that they contrast when they're right next to each other. Because if I had this and Snakebite Leather, you wouldn't be able to see it. I would just kind of blend it all in. If you took your time, you could, but that's not what we're trying to do here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and, let's see. Here's another step we'll do. We'll go ahead and add a little Snakebite Leather to the bases of these horns that I painted in Skeleton Horde. Then we'll wash the brush, touch off the water a little bit, and then we'll kind of blend it together. So there's not that really distinct line between the two. There's no set thing on how much you do it and what you do. You're just gonna do it till you like it. Okay, we'll be back. Yeah, we're gonna go start working on the skulls. And I'm gonna show you 3 different variants that you can use. Normally I wouldn't probably do all 3, but this is just for demonstration purpose on this guy. First one, we're gonna start out with some Skeleton Horde. We'll use that as a base coat of 1. Excuse me. And we'll go ahead and try the next one over here with some Wyldwood. Oh, let's get a little bit underneath there too. And the next variation is going to be some Snakebite Leather. These all represent different stages or shades or conditions, something that kind of breaks them up, but you don't have to do all three. I'm just giving you the different variations. Okay, I'll move on and be back. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next color. Our next color is gonna be a 1-to-1 mixture of Plaguebearer Flesh to contrast medium. And we're gonna paint this over the skin. What this should do is give us a nice jaundiced look to the skin, because like I've said before, I'm doing mine as part of the cult of the Carrion Crow. If you're not doing the Carrion Crow, then this step is not something that you would do, because then the Reikland Fleshshade should be enough with some highlights later. Okay, I will finish this up and be back. We're gonna move on to the next color. Next color is gonna be another mixture of 2-to-1 of Black Legion to contrast paint. We're gonna be using these on some of the hooves. Like so. Another one we're going to be using is going to be a 1-to-1 mixture, like we did for the leather, of Cygor Brown to contrast. So on the lighter color horses, I'm going to use the Cygor Brown mix. On the darker color horses, like this one, I'm going to use the Black Legion mix. Okay, finish this up and be back. Okay, on to our next color. Our next color is going to be a 1-to-1 mixture of Agrax Earthshade to Lahmian medium. Now this is one of the key ways in which you cut down on the times it takes to paint an army, is that you make either washes or base coats or whatever, some color, be applied to multiple things. So like with this one, this is a big one for this particular color palette, is it's going to go on the armor and the weapons, including the shields and the chains, right? It's going to go on any of our reds, our greens, our yellows, the banner. It's also going to go on the metals we painted Retributor Armor. It's also going to go on the skin of the horses. We're going to leave the furs alone, so there'll be a differentiation in the color. For the Skeleton Horde, the Wyldwood, the Snakebite, and the Snakebite Leather version. And also, it'll go on the horse blanket. So we'll take that mixture and we'll start adding it to it. So it'll go here. It goes on the greens. Just gonna spread it out. You don't really want it to pool a whole lot. Maybe in some of the recesses or cracks, but other than that, you kind of want to spread it out nice and even. But like I said, this will be a second step for a lot of the colors in this army. All right, I'm gonna get to work on this and I'll be back. Okay, got a little overeager on. There is gonna be one difference. On most of these, you're just gonna place it all over the place. But like on the banner, what we're gonna do, take some Agrax Earthshade. We're gonna go along the edges like so. Spreading it out, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna wash the brush, touch off the water, and then kind of blend it in, like so. Just so we don't have some solid transition line. Makes it a little easier. We'll do that. I'm gonna go ahead and, oops, do the other side as well. For some reason doesn't want to go on my brush. I'm gonna wash the brush, touch off the water, and get these clumps out, and then just kind of blend it in. Okay. Then we can touch off the water a little more, so I have a pretty dry brush. And kind of go in the middle and pull some more out. It's not going to be a dramatic difference, but it will be a subtle difference. Okay, I'm gonna finish it up and be back. Okay, one other note I wanted to give to you is that, like, say, let's just say we overload this area here, like so, right? Basically, we're gonna treat it just like we did the contrast paints in a lot of ways, except we have a little more playing time on the flats. We're just gonna go ahead and get a dry brush, or, you know, wash off the brush, touch off the water, and then we're gonna go into the recesses and along the edges and soak up the excess. And then when we get some more, we can spread it out. Okay, I'll be back. Move on to our next color. Next color is gonna be some Athonian Camoshade, and we're gonna put this on any of our wood. Hopefully give it kind of that green, sickly color. And also, we're going to be putting it on the ropes. Any ropes that they have on these guys. We'll go ahead and put them on it. Okay, I'm going to finish these guys up and be right back. I'm going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Drakenhof Nightshade. And we're going to use this in a couple places. One is going to be on any place where we use the blue, the Ultramarines Blue, which is pretty much just the cloth that we use it on. We are also going to use it on the horse that we did in the 2-to-1 mixture of Black Legion contrast. And like the other horses, we are not going to put this in the fur, you know, or the tail or the mane. You know, I'm sure there are better things to call some of those things, but you get the point. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next color. Our next color is going to be some Karak Stone, and we're going to be using this as a highlight for our woods, our ropes, our yellows, and what we did in Snakebite Leather, like, well, that's probably a little much. Okay. What you can do in this situation, you put a little bit too much on there, you can get it on a dry brush, get a little wet, and you can go right over it. And like that. You can lift it off. But we're going to want to use the Snakebite Leather as a highlight. Or sorry, Karak Stone as a highlight on a lot of Snakebite Leather. You just got to be careful with it. And gotta see how you fix something in a step. So I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next color. Our next color is gonna be some Ironbreaker. And we're gonna be putting this a light dry brush on any place we used Leadbelcher before. Just to give it a nice highlight. Which will be pretty much armors and weapons and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be back. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention with this particular highlight is you want to, you can go ahead and hit the Retributor Armor sections as well. Just do it kind of light so you're like catching the edges. That cuts out a step. It looks pretty good. Okay, our next color is going to be some Gorthor Brown, and we're going to be highlighting this on any place that we use the Wyldwood, which would be some of the skulls, and of course one of the horses. If you decide, Wyldwood would make a good color for the fur as well. All right, I'm gonna finish this up and be back. Yeah, move on to the next color. Next color is gonna be some Evil Sunz Scarlet. And we're gonna be applying this to anywhere that we applied the reds before. With the 1-to-1 mix of Blood Angels red to Flesh Cherries red. So any place we're gonna be doing that, we're gonna be adding this highlight of Evil Sunz Scarlet. Okay, I'm gonna get on with it and be right back. All right, we'll move on to the next color. Next color is gonna be some Straken Green, and we're gonna be using this, when you guessed it, anywhere that we've done the green color so far. Not trying to overpower it, it's nice light dry brush to just catch the ridges. Okay, I'm gonna move on and be right back. We're gonna move on to the next color. Next color is gonna be some Russ Grey. And we're gonna use this anywhere that we use the blue color, which should be the Ultramarines followed by the Drakenhof Nightshade. Just do a light dry brush, catch the ridges, catch the highlighted portions, and leave the shadows. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up and be right back. All right, on to the next color. Next color is gonna be some Deepkin Flesh. And we're gonna use this on any of the exposed skin that we've done in the Reikland Fleshshade and the Plaguebearer mix. Just go ahead and do a nice light dry brush, catch the edges, kind of highlight it, and it also gives Deepkin Flesh has a little bit of a greenish tint to it, which will help with the sickly pallor. All right, I'm gonna finish these guys up and be back. We're gonna move on to the next color. Next color is gonna be some Skrag Brown, and we're gonna use this on any place that we used the Gore-Grunta Fur. So we're gonna highlight it, including the fur. Just get some nice dry brush on it, get it going. All right, I'm gonna finish this up and I will be back. Okay, on to the next color. Next color is gonna be some Dawnstone, and we're gonna be using this on the horse and the saddle blanket that we got here. The one we painted in the Black Templar. Just be going light and easy. Just trying to catch the edges. Just add a little bit of definition to it. Don't go too much. All right, I'm going to keep working on this and I will be back. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about the Dawnstone is that if you did anywhere with, like you did the fur, then you're going to hit with a 2-to-1 mixture of Black Legion. To contrast, you're going to have to do the Dawnstone on those areas as well. Okay, thanks. I'll be back. I'm going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be Ushabti Bone, and I'm going to use this for the skeleton horde, like where we placed where we did the horses. Any of the furs that we did, and all of the skulls, regardless of the base, because we've done other colors on some of the intermediate highlights on some of those. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this all up. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Kislev Flesh, and we're going to be using this to kind of highlight and go around any of these brands, like this one here that you can see on the horse's neck. So we're just going to be getting it around it. Something like that. I'm going to go ahead and finish these all up and I'll be back. We're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Carroberg Crimson. And we're going to use this, whoopsie, in those brands. We use it to fill it in. And I'm also going to use it to kind of color the area that we dry brushed with the Kislev Flesh just a minute ago. All right, I'm going to finish these up and be back. Here we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Nurgle's Rot. And we're going to be putting this just a little dab in some of these wounds that they got. Maybe a little bit. Maybe in the nostrils, like there's like they're like starting to succumb to disease. That sort of thing. Just a little bit here and there is a little touch up. All right, I'm going to finish these up. I'm going to move on to the next color. Next color is some Black Legion. And we're going to be using this as the first color in our eyes. So we'll just be going in there and basically touching up the eyeballs. Okay, we're going to finish these up. Finish the rest of the unit up. We're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be a 1-to-1 mixture of Black Templar to Lahmian. And what we're going to be doing is, let's see if you can see it. There we go. We're going to be adding this to the mouth, add a little definition. So it'll basically highlight the teeth, but then sink into the recess and provide some definition. Okay, I'm going to finish this up for the unit and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next color. Our next color is going to be some Pallid Witch Flesh. And we are going to use this as putting dots in each corner of the eye that we just did. The Black Legion into. Wish I could tell you something different, but it's just something you have to practice. Okay, I will be back. We'll be moving on to our next color. Our next color is going to be some more Pallid Witch Flesh. And we're going to be using this to pick out some of the teeth in the mouth that we just did the Black Templar mix into. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Carroberg Crimson. And we are going to put this in the mouth. And also a bit in the eyes to make them look bloodshot. Because we're doing Carrion Crow. Okay, I'm going to finish these up. See if you can see it. Yeah, there you go. And I'll be back.
Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe as it really helps the channel out. I try to focus on simple yet easy techniques to give you the most bang for your buck. It may not win you a golden demon, but we'll get you on the tabletop looking good, lickety split. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next one.